Dear students, welcome to the class. So, here we are today to revise the tense. You must be remembering well what all rules and what all sentences we discussed while we initially discussed the topic, the tense. So, today, on one hand, we will recapitulate the previous knowledge. On the other hand, we will do the tenses on a little advanced level because this is such a topic that has to be improved each and every day, that has to be mastered upon by students with each passing day. So, at your level, I feel there is a lot of scope for us to do an advanced study of tenses. So, today we are going to do the tense at a little higher level along with recapitulation of what we had done in the previous session of this topic. So, let's begin. Just to revise, students, last time we discussed that we have three main types of tenses, which is the present tense, the past and the future tense. These are actually the time heads, the time which is in present, the time which is in past, or the time which will be there in future. The minor heads of each tense you would remember very well. There are four minor heads for each tense, which is indefinite, continuous, perfect, perfect continuous tense. Now, on the other hand, we will do a related study of tenses with respect to types of sentences. As you know, we have four types of sentences broadly, which is assertive, interrogative, exclamatory, and imperative. But here we are going to discuss four types of sentences which will be used in your study of tense, that is affirmative. Affirmative sentences are which whose answer is yes. These are positive statements. Then we have interrogatives, the question sentences, and then we have the negative sentences, and then we have interrogative negative, which asks negative question. Now, just a small and quick revision of the rules of tenses. Present tense, in its simple form, it is used as first form plus s and es, like he likes her, he plays football, this way. Progressive form is ing form, like he is running on the track. So this is is are primary auxiliaries plus first form plus ing form. Perfect forms, students, you have to remember, they always take a have or a had with the third form of the verb. And then we have perfect continuous form or perfect progressive forms, which is has, have plus been. So you have to take note of this very clearly. Has, have plus been plus first form plus ing. Now, when we talk of the ing form is always used with verb 1. So, there is nothing to memorize as such. So, in the second form and in the fourth form, you can see we are using V1 plus ing, which means in all the progressive forms of tense or in all the continuous forms of tense, we use V1 plus ing. So the same four categories are for the past tense. Past tense, for simple past or past indefinite, we use second form of verb, that is very simple. Then for progressive, just take a note, again we are using V1 ing. Wherever there is progressive form or a continuous form, we use V1 plus ing. So instead of is am are, the only change is was and were. Rest remains the same. Similarly, for perfect form, instead of have and has, it becomes had plus third form. And then for perfect progressive or perfect continuous, it is had plus been. Again, take note of been, and then first form plus ing. Now for future tense, will, shall plus first form, and then look at this progressive form again, will be plus V1 plus ing, and for perfect form we have will have plus third form of verb, and for continuous, perfect continuous, we have will have been plus first form plus ing, which means V1 plus ing. Now, types of sentences wise, there are certain examples given in this table. For present tense, for affirmative, I told you these are positive statements. I'll say I go home, a very simple statement in a positive tone. Then for negative, I'll say I do not go home. Then for interrogative, I'll say do I go home? And then for negative interrogative, I'll say don't I go home? That way. So there are some more examples which you can read again and again from this table. Similarly, for present continuous tense, now if it's continuous, we'll always use ing form, right? So for affirmative, I'll say I am going. For negative, I'll say I am not going. For interrogative, I'll say am I going? And for negative interrogative, I'll say am I not going? Then there are certain more examples, like look at the last one. They are going, they aren't going. Are they going? And for the negative interrogative, I'll say are they not going? Next, you see, we have present perfect tense. How would we say in affirmative form? I have listened, and when we have conversations or in spoken form, I'll say I have listened. Say it, I have listened. Instead of saying I have listened, I'll say I have listened. For negative, I'll say I haven't listened or I have not listened. For interrogative, I'll say have I listened? Have I listened? And for negative interrogative, I'll say haven't I listened to you? Haven't I listened? Okay? Keep on referring to these examples when you go through these slides again. So now this is for you students. You have to play with verbs. It sounds very simple, but sometimes we get stuck when we are going to convert a verb from present into past. So these are two bubbles given to you. You can just match the present form with the past form. First is done for you, study and studied. Then second one is see. So you have to search for its past form and do it accordingly. Like for example, see, we have here saw. So you can just do all these verbs and also keep a check which all verbs caused you a bit of problem. Most probably they are going to be irregular verbs. Irregular verbs which change their form by changing in some other way other than adding just ed to the main verb, right? Another very interesting exercise for you, simple but fine. This game you can play with your siblings, with your younger siblings, I would say. See, you can see there is a start and then there is a finish. So you all these verbs are given in this. You have to make a past form, and with the ticking of the clock, set a timer, play a game with a younger brother or sister and enjoy. And then you can redo it by raising the level of this game by putting in more unconventional verbs in the boxes. Like you have to do it quickly: make, made, eat, ate, fly, flew, fall, fell, this way. Okay. This is again a short and crisp revision for you. Okay, now we do it. Present form examples are given of all the types of sentences. This is affirmative: they eat breakfast. This is negative: I don't play the drums. This is interrogative: do you live in England? Similarly, for past form, we have other three examples. They ate breakfast. This is affirmative. I didn't play the drums yesterday. This is negative. Did you live in England last year? Similarly, for continuous tense, affirmative form is they are eating breakfast. Negative form is I am not playing the drums. Interrogative form is are you living in England now? For perfect forms, it is they have eaten breakfast is affirmative form. I haven't played the drums today is negative form. Have you lived in England is interrogative form. Then for future, they will eat breakfast is affirmative. They won't play the drums is negative, and will you live in England is interrogative. Now, if you want to make a negative interrogative out of these, for the first set here, you can say, don't you live in England? For the second set, you can say, didn't you live in England last year? For the third set, you can say, aren't you living in England now? For the fourth one, you can say, haven't you lived in England? And for the last one, you can say, won't you live in England? I hope you are clear with all the four types of sentences which we have discussed in this. Okay, now we are going to do certain offbeat sentences. So just be ready with me. We will solve this together. The use of yet and already. Yet, when an action is in the process of completion or is not complete by the time mentioned. Already is used when the action is completely finished by the time mentioned in the sentence. So look at this number 1. Dash Mary dash her homework. So first thing is we are going to fill in a perfect tense. Second thing that should come to your mind is while filling the perfect tense, you need to know third form of the verb. Suppose you get stuck up here, you can give a quick flashback in your mind and speak out aloud 3 forms of do, which are do, did, done, right? So now third form we have got, which is done. This we are going to fill. So the question says, has Mary done her homework? Now the answer is a negation. So what do we fill in, students? For negation, we'll fill in yet, means so far she has not done. So we say no, she hasn't or has not. She hasn't done her homework yet. Have you understood the use of yet? I am sure you would have. But to get better understanding, we will do one more sentence related to this. Again, wash is a regular verb, So its V3 form will be washed, which you all know. So what is the question? Dash you dash the dishes. We are asking, have you washed the dishes? Now the answer is an affirmation. Yes. So you say, yes, I have already washed. Have you got it? So for affirmations, we'll say, yes, I have already washed the dishes. Does it sound appropriate and meaningful to you? Of course, it is. We repeat. Have you washed the dishes? Yes, I have already washed the dishes. Students, so many times in your classes also you say, ma'am, I have already done this. Ma'am, I have already read the chapter. Right? So, when the answer is an affirmation, we use already. Then we come to the next slide. Look at this. The verb given is give. Look at what I said. The verb given is give. So you already got the third form of the verb, which is given. Dash, they dash the present to their mother. Have they given the present to their mother? No. So we are saying a negation. We are putting a negative answer. So children, what should be placed here? We discussed previously. We are going to put a yet. No, they haven't given the present to their mother yet. What does it mean? They are planning to give, but so far within the time frame given in this sentence, so far they have not given the present to their mother. Try it otherwise. Can you fit an already anywhere in this sentence? Can you say they haven't given the present to their mother already? I can see a smile on your face because you know, because these things we use in language so commonly. It is just that we are learning these things technically through your grammar. But in your day-to-day usage, I am sure you would be knowing all these things already. See, I used the word already, no? Next one. So, speak up with me, right? The verb is cook. So now, mother is what? Singular. That you have to take care. So, we'll say, has mother cooked the dinner? Yes, she has. I can hear your voice, you know. Yes, she has already cooked the dinner. This is also, I deliberately have put these slides because these are tricky. Use of past and present perfect. Now, in the same sentence, there are, say, two actions are happening. So, when to use simple past, when to use present perfect. Students, let me give you a tip. If there are two actions taking place in the same sentence, you have to ask yourselves which thing happened first and which thing happened at number 2. So, the thing that happened at number 1, that you have to use as present, as past perfect rather, and then the thing which is happened at number which has happened at number 2, you have to use a simple past. For example, there is a sentence, the patient died, the patient had died before the doctor arrived. So now suppose it's a dash and dash, you don't know what to fill. So you will ask, what happened? First, did the doctor arrive or first did the patient die? Got an answer, the patient died beforehand only. So we'll say the patient had died before the doctor arrived. Now in this pair, we are not going to do past perfect, but we are going to see how it overlaps a bit. Simple past and present perfect tense. Because simple past also comes in our present as well, and present perfect is when the action has been completed in the present framework. So let us just try these sentences. First one, dash you ever sing in a concert? So your first step would be find out, because see, we are doing present perfect, we need to know third form of verb. Now many of you would be knowing, but still some may not be knowing. Am I right? So you say sing, say it aloud. Sing, sang, sung. Got the third form, which is sung. So we say, have you ever sung in a concert? Yes, I sang in a concert once. Next, number 3. Dash you dash eaten anything this morning? Have you eaten anything this morning? Number 4. My parents dash to Japan twice. My parents have been to Japan twice. Look at this, students. We already have an already here. So it's an affirmative, say perfect use of tense. John has read the book already. This is a small incident being narrated to you. You can enjoy it. Side by side, we will fill in the blanks, but first we need to know the options given, which are given here at the last. Park, rush, come. First we'll pick these 3. Park, rush and come. So now Dad parked his car in front of a no parking sign and came into the shop. Okay, let me and rushed, sorry. Let's do it again. Park and rush. A few days ago, Dad parked his car in front of a no parking sign and rushed into a shop. When he came out 10 minutes later, the car was no longer there. Now we are going to use this. He wondered if someone had stolen. Okay? If someone had stolen it, or if the police had driven it away. Next, some more practice. For the last 2 years, he now like for and since, we are going to use the tense very specifically. Here is your hint. For the last 2 years, he has been writing. He has been writing a history of the American Civil War. Next, you look very upset. This is simple. What happened? This sentence also you come across in your day-to-day life. What happened? Your teachers so many times they ask you, what happened to you? You look unwell. You look sad. Next, this you would enjoy doing because we have learnt the use of already beforehand. So when we arrived at the stadium, the match had already started. Next, I am so sorry that I had to leave the party so early yesterday because. Now students, when you fill in these sentences, look for the clues. Okay? I am so sorry that I had to leave the party so early yesterday because was I enjoying myself or not? So the clue is you feel sorry that you had to leave the party, which means you were actually not enjoying the party. So here we'll fill in the negative form. Say it again. I am so sorry that I had to leave the party so early yesterday because I wasn't really enjoying myself. Okay? Next. Can you hear someone? Someone is knocking. Can't you hear? Someone is knocking at the door. Then dash it. It's a question mark, so we will use have you answered? Have you answered it? No, I am going in a minute. I have just stepped. I have just stepped out of the bath. So students, this was the practice of your tenses, and we conclude this class with a strong understanding of the basic use of tenses, the 3 major heads of tenses, and the 4 minor subheads of each tense, and the 4 types of sentences which we use in each type of tense. We did a revision of the previous lesson, and side by side we did a bit of advanced study of tenses with a primary focus on the use of yet and already, the use of past and past perfect, and the use of past and present perfect. So I hope you will do a nice practice of tenses. through the assignment PDF and the homework assignment PDF that is given along with this PPT for along this video and PPT for your practice. Use it optimally and use it to your advantage, because tense is something which we can't do without even a single minute, because every second the time passes and the tense changes its relevance each passing minute or second. So whether we are speaking language or writing or listening or reading, we are making use of tense. So students, all the best to you. Practice well and enjoy the topic.